So finishing up from where we were on the chain dial, first of all, this card is going to go away. I can go back there if I so desire, but I haven't been going back to things. But, you know, if I want another shot at the treasure or whatever. But anyway. And I think that would keep cranking the prosperity. I don't remember if the rewards... I'd have to look that up if you get the rewards if you succeeded things again. But anyway, I picked my experience level for the Tinker. And oh boy, here's the one I've wanted all along. Disarm one adjacent trap. That's what I assumed the Tinker would be able to do. And I kept looking and thinking, wait, it doesn't seem to have any cards that does that. Well, that's okay. He's kind of cool anyway. Yeah, so this is a low number card. The other card for level 3 was kind of like a one-use combat card and a decent move. Not a bad card at all. Like one use in the sense that you lose it after you use it. But yeah, traps have been really annoying to me, and I want to be able to blast them out of the way, and I get an XP off of it. Otherwise, it's kind of an iffy card. This stun traps is... I find it hard to get the monsters to go over traps, especially if I have to lay them down next to where the Tinker is, which is pretty much what the traps are. So it's kind of like, well, that takes more planning than I'm capable of. It would be helpful in something like this to leave, you know, puddles of garbage behind that, you know, maybe the enemy would get it caught. And although, of course, the fact that they can move through each other means that it's not going to be the bottleneck that I was counting on for them. And then for my perk, I took 2 more -1 cards out. Hey, get the garbage out of my deck, you know. Although it might be useful to put some of the big hit cards in, like there's a +3 card I could have added or something. But I'd rather trim the garbage before I start adding better stuff in. So far, we are now at level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divided by 3 is... Uh-oh. We might be there. I think we're below. Let me see what our level is. They say the average level of the characters in the party divided by 2 and rounded up. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to be a little over 2, which means we are going to end up at level 2 this time. This would be a good time to make the choice as to whether or not I want to add the other character. And if I do, he might have money to be able to buy that cool flame power dagger, which, geez, if I was going to get that, I maybe should have added these flame cards. Here's where we're going to need cash for, because with the prosperity going up, there's another set of like 15 more items available, so I'm going to have to go through those, think about what I want to do. Obviously, I had to go back to Gloomhaven. I'll be drawing a Gloomhaven card. I don't know when. Basically, if I can buy things I want, I won't draw the card first. It's not clear what the ordering is on that. And then I've got to also make the decision of, do I start that new character? Space-wise, I don't like the idea. However, and here's the other thing. Because he can come in at level 2, that is going to still keep me at an average level of above 2, which means, assuming he comes in at level 2, which I would want to, which means that we actually don't gain anything. The big bonus would have been if we had stayed at Prosperity 1 and the Tinker had gone up a level, say. Then I could counterbalance the Tinker's level and drop the level of the adventure. On the other hand, maybe it's cool to be in a level 2 adventure, you know. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't see any real negative effect to keeping, you know, to just bringing another character in for that. And the advantage, of course, is I get to play more characters and see how they react and how they operate. Some of the negative is, you know, he does come in at level 2, which means he's not going to be You know, it's not, I'm not going to feel the same connection that I do with these characters that I'm starting with. But that's going to be the case with every character from now on. They're going to come in already somewhat developed. They don't have to, but, you know, it sucks to be the weak guy, right? So you don't want to do that. The disadvantage, of course, of bringing in a new character is he'll only have the 30 starting bucks. So he won't have, you know, the kind of cash that these characters have been keeping up. Now, whenever you retire a character, I think a new character becomes available. So unless, you know, unless I don't like the new character that becomes available, if I don't think it's as cool as some of the other ones, that kind of means I'll never see the characters that I haven't already, or that I've already passed on, wherever the hell I put them. I guess they're in there still. Yeah. Which is kind of disappointing. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should be dropping characters when they die or whatever. Just because that would let me run through more of them. But on the other hand, I would run through them too quickly, I think. So I just don't know what to do about that. But anyway, I'll look through the deck, figure out what I want, and then come back. So I've been running through the cards, but this one irritates me. Minor mana potion. During your turn, create any element. Great. Except you can't use it if you create it during your turn. I feel like that kind of negates what it should be. It should be kind of this, hey, I can power myself up with that color so that I can do the things on that color. If I'm doing it during my turn, I'm having to plot it to power things up for other people. I don't know if I'll just not take that or if I'll kind of house rule that against the base rules, because I really don't like what it does. Okay, so looking over all the new items, there are some that are interesting, especially some small items, but I'm saving up my cash for those skeleton rings. And he doesn't have much money. The Cragheart was like, oh, maybe I can buy one of these melee weapons. Nah, there's one really nice set of boots, but I'm not sure I don't need my jumping boots. Although they're less useful now that I can walk through my own people. But I'm not sure I don't need those. His boots of speed give him extra, or his boots of striding, boots of walking, give him the ability to add a couple movement points to his. But the boots of speed, what's awesome about them is that they can add or reduce your initiative number for the turn. They can add or reduce 10 points to it, which is pretty huge because getting the jump on things is pretty big. Unfortunately, they're fairly expensive. I think they're 30 bucks, which is outside his range. And again, I haven't made the decision that I can do without the jumping boots. If I start to not be using them as much, because he can disarm traps, he can bust through obstacles, I'll keep that. I also looked over the Brute again, and I'm like, no. It's not worth the clutter is the biggest thing. I do like the idea of exploring more of the characters, but this really does feel like about as much table space as I can devote to the players. I've got the rules in the scenario here, and I mean, I could throw another table up or something, but I don't want to do that. So where do I go? I don't know. But before I do, let's have a city encounter and see if anything exciting happens, and then maybe we'll make different choices based on that. You awake in the middle of the night to the sound of alarms ringing in the west. You recognize them as the warning clangs of an attack on the wall. A force bold enough to assault the defenses of Gloomhaven can't be good. For a moment, you are grateful for the prolific number of guards defending the city. But still, there's always the possibility that the guards may not be enough. Go aid the defense of the city, or if the guards are distracted by an attacking force, now would be the perfect time to steal some valuables. Oh, darn. Oh, jeez. I don't want to hurt my reputation. All right, well, fucking go help the guards. I hate, you know, we have to make one choice or the other, but this probably won't hurt us for the next scenario. I don't know. It doesn't look like it does. Oh, we would have gotten an item design. but we would have lost reputation. As you rush towards the west gate, eager to fight, you approach, you see a mass of vermlings climbing over the wall and attacking the guards with daggers and arrows. You yell and charge into the battle. It's a rough fight. You emerge victorious, covered in fur and blood. The citizens are safe. The town is free to grow and prosper. You gain 5 experience each. That's pretty cool. And 1 prosperity. I may have gone up a level. I don't know. Really having a hard time on making a decision on her. She went up the level. Very close to the 95. Gotta mark this. And this is a bonus because having just 1 second level character driving me up to a level 2 dungeon, that was a painful situation. Or just 1 third level character driving me up to a level 2 dungeon. I'll be able to face level 2 dungeons up until the point, you know, when the average level is above 4. At that point, then I won't. So right now, the average level was just a little over 2, and that was terrible. But I'm having a hard time choosing these cards, and because they're not that good. The Flashing Burst, the level 2 that I left behind, it's a nice fast card, has some good abilities. I would definitely put it in my deck. And in the future, it would give me some mana that I might use for this, which is a pretty damn good mana card, but I don't know, or healing card, but I don't know that I'd use it for that. I kind of like the dark mana better. And this is a nice, fast experience generator, which, damn, that's hard to turn away from. So I don't know about the yellow. But then these others, well, a ranged attack, but it uses red mana. I don't have a lot of red mana. If I do that, maybe I buy this. I looked at the major mana potion thinking, wow, maybe that's allowed to be used at any time. No, they're always on your turn. That's a level of planning that I'm going to have a lot of trouble with. I don't want to cheat the card, you know, but maybe I can use it, you know, effectively if I think. I'm not sure. The problem is some of the monsters will eat up your mana and other characters might grab it or whatever. And then the final is this, which again, I'm very likely to be getting the experience points for the healings, which is cool. I'm a lot less likely to be able to use the shield card. It's a slow card. Of course, this isn't exactly fast. I don't know that I'd want to put any of them in the deck except this one. And I'm just really torn because this one, while it's a neat card, I don't know how much I really want that. You know, shouldn't I be getting the level 3 card instead? That loot 2 could be very valuable too. That could allow me to grab, you know, something that I can't reach at the end of the dungeon and get some more item patterns or whatever. So yeah, I'm struggling. I'm gonna grab the cold fire. I've got some capability to produce blue, not much. But I like the attack range, and if I can get it to 3 attack, it's pretty good. Otherwise, you know, whatever. I'll use it for something, maybe just a movement or 2 or whatever. And I did buy the mana potion as well. And as my perk, I took something that has a little bit of red mana. He's got a little bit of red mana with his flamethrower. There is some potential of fire showing up. Plus, we figure we're going against undead, and fire should be really good against undead. It isn't, but, you know. It's just the way I think. We're a little afraid of this merchant, and so we're facing, it's not really a side quest, but the Gloom quest that came off that first or second barrel. I don't remember which one. I think it was the first one. The bandit commander's proclamations of a gloom, no, it must have been the second. Do not sit well on your stomach. You search the bend in the still river, and I'm here for what that matters. And find the ruins of an ancient crypt half covered in moss and ivy. The history of the place is old and dark. With no other information to go on, you head down to the depths. Whatever else these supposed bandits are up to, you're determined to find out, even after you stumble and cross a large group of them and more animated dead at the bottom of the stairs. You've made a mistake coming here, one of the bandits hisses. You disagree. You are right where you want to be. these guys are kind of dicks. Anyway, what I haven't done is I haven't drawn my road event, which I had to do first. Okay, heading out a little late, aren't you? The guard at the wall looks at you passively. You grunt in response and head through the open gate. Nobody's going to be looking for your corpse if you don't return, the guard shouts at your back. You end up embarking on a road much later than you had hoped. Events in town saw to that. Yeah, we fought a battle. But as dusk settles on the horizon, you feel confident that you're up to any threat you might face. And then begins the howling of the wolves. Vicious, foul beasts, and judging from their sounds, they seem to be getting closer. So now I have, and these options keep coming, let the wolves, or run away from the wolves to safety, which tends to fatigue cards, or fight them, which tends to cause wounds. I'm going to run away, because I'm a pussy. I don't know. Wounds aren't that bad. Screw it, let's fight them. I'm going to regret this. Okay, I would have started with poison otherwise. I don't know why. Confident that the wounds pose no significant threat, you stand your ground and prepare for battle. The pack comes, ragged and hungry, slowly emerging from the dark and surrounds your party. There are more of them than you expected, but not enough to take you down. You suffer a bite or two, but able to fight them off. Start the scenario with 3 damage. Ouch. That's more damage than I was expecting. One thing is, these cards start affecting you less. Of course, the first level cards start affecting you less at lower levels. But remember, cards get added to the deck, so they might become more potent and more dangerous as you go. Still, 3 damage is quite a healthy amount when you're only, even at third level, sitting on 8. This would have cut her in half if I had gotten this early on. Those results were about equally bad. I'm always expecting to be able to avoid one of these results, but these fight ones, it just seems like you just get screwed. Again, as usual, I built out the dungeon. I'm trying not to know it, but man, they're traps. You know, I'm just assuming there are going to always be traps in annoying places. These actually aren't that annoying a place, so I might not need to disarm them, but whatever. I just am assuming. So the Tinker's going to take her, I don't know. It looks kind of her-ish, but also kind of he-ish. It's just such a fragile thing. It's hard to tell. I don't know. And I've set up the initial monsters, which are a couple skeletons, a couple elite skeletons. And remember, these are level 2, so they've got a little bit higher stats. They still are at shield 1, and then the bandit archers a little bit more potent as well. This is going to be a little more painful. You know, I've made a bump up. On the other hand, my experience for succeeding in the, well, let's see. Monsters at level 2. Golds are going to be worth 3 each. Traps are worth 4. And I get an extra couple XP for success, which is definitely helpful because the XP rates, you know, they go up, as one might expect. And the cards that generate XP kind of go up too, you know. So if you pick those, you're helping your advancement. I've dealt out these cards so I don't forget them, but I'm not in any position right now, condition, whatever, to, I feel like Trump there, except that I don't say and condition, you know, to prep for the dungeon right now. Probably a little later tonight. It's not quite my bedtime, but it's just, you know, doing all this setup, the between scenario stuff wasn't too bad. But setting up the thing, getting all those cards sorted out and everything, even when I've got everything mostly, you know, out, it's a fair amount of time, which is a reason that if you are playing this in a group, you probably want to decide where you're going ahead of time. And, you know, somebody can set it up before the game starts, yeah, if they have time or whatever, the host, something like that. I know that when we played, somebody was setting it up while we were playing another game. You know, it's that painful kind of, and it's not like having extra hands is going to help all that much. I mean, 2 people might be able to set it up more quickly than 1, but I don't see 4 being a big advantage. I got a little bit of time to actually play a little bit. I set up the first turn's programming. And the cards that I drew for goals, hey, that's pretty easy. I'm usually pretty low on cards when I get done with one of these scenarios. I had one where somebody failed at that. It was her. But opener, has to kill the first monster. That's going to be hard to do, but his other option was nothing but short rests. I hate short rests. I might do one every now and then, but I need that extra healing, that extra. The nice thing about a long rest is you get to delay a turn. You get something out of it, and you get to delay a turn and not burn cards. So, in general, I prefer taking long rests. I almost always take the one that's all long rest. Now, the hard choice, the only really hard choice, was the Spellweaver, where I could have taken the Indigent and not go for money, but she only needs one more check mark to reach a bonus. I can probably get this one. That one, I can almost certainly usually manage, but maybe I wouldn't with a chest or something, and there's two of them in this scenario. But the problem is, we really need money. There's lots of cool stuff beginning to show up now as we go up levels in the deck, and particularly there's that skeleton ring, and I'd like to get a couple of them to start throwing some skeletons out into battle. Hey, it's the bonus of all these crypts that I'm seeing, I guess. It does feel a little funny in the sense that everywhere that these first adventures has gone is facing undeads and demons and stuff like that. There are certainly other things around. It just feels like we're two branches to that initial scenario. One is go hunt down this gloom thing, which is associated with the undead, and the other is the merchant, who turns out to be associated with the undead. Now, maybe if I was working for the merchant, since I went and killed those Inoxes, that, that's probably my way of avoiding the undead, is to work for them. I don't want to do that. And me, I've done this one already. I thought it sounded familiar with that. You're just right where you want to be. Yeah, let me set up a different one. It's so hard because I don't have, I guess you're supposed to do some kind of marking on these things or something. I don't have a way to mark them easily, but I can use the little tabs for the ones I faced. I knew I had faced Crypt of the Dam. Damn it. Alright, we'll set up another one. The situation's somewhat different. They're not all clumped together, so I'm going to have to replan everything I'm planning on doing. I'm coming in from this side. There's two rooms now, two different sides. One room is, I don't necessarily know this, but one room is filled with ice demons, the other room is filled with fire demons. Whatever. But yeah, they each have a treasure chest. My goal is to kill all the enemies. This is called the Runious Crypt. I've got some cultists, of course, who can summon the living bones. And then I've got two night demons. Those two night demons are making me regret not taking that sunshine card, because that can screw them up just at random. Let's not talk about the other demons, but they're scary. Especially the fire demon, I think, has big shields on them. But these guys, attacker gets a disadvantage. These are a little stronger than before, but that's all. I'm very scared of those fire demons, though. Although I assume that like ice works well against fire and fire works well against ice or something like that. And I know I've got some fire in my deck. I don't think I have a whole hell of a lot of ice. Although he's got some built into here, because he just wants mana, So yeah, I have to rethink what I'm doing. One nice thing, the other scenario, the traps, blowing traps away, wasn't going to be terribly valuable in that one. In this one, it's clearly valuable. I've got traps in front of the doors that I'm going to have to clear out, or else jump or whatever. But if I want to get everybody through, I got to clear them out. I don't see any special rules in this one, do I? Oh, yes, I do. Everybody starts with disarm as a scenario effect. Well, that blows. I think that means I can't attack. Let me read this before we fix. Mission is clear. These elemental cultists are distorting the fabric of the world and must be stopped. With that goal in mind, you follow the writings to an ancient crypt you believe to be the cult's base of operations. Steeling yourself for combat, you batter through the rotted door and charge into the hall of the crypt. The sight before you is both wondrous and horrifying. A group of cultists is performing a ritual incantation in front of the black gaping hole in reality. They turn towards you and snarl, unsheathing their sacrificial daggers. Behind them, an inky darkness spills forth from the hole and coalesces into nightmarish forms full of teeth and claws. You know you must send these terrors to their elemental plane, back into the void. But you're paralyzed with fear, which is the disarm action or effect. And remember, we're also beat up because we got hit by wolves. Actually, that negative scenario effect would have a big difference, but it doesn't affect these two. They have the perk to avoid that. She does not. Cultists can create bones that may change things depending on how fast they do it, but we're going to try to get the drop on them. I know that's not very fast. Neither is this, really. But she's going to summon her little friend and do some auxiliary, improvement of attacks. She gets to get her cards back, so the X's don't really matter. His plan is to destroy that obstacle and see if he can kill one of the cultists. It's not that likely. They're fairly tough. They're still 7s, which means I have to get a lucky attack, but I'll probably +1 it. And we'll see what happens there. And he is doing some shooting and throwing his shield up. If he was going faster than other people, that would be helpful because it would bonus this, but we'll see. And then over here, 27, that's going to be faster than everyone except 1. Okay, so they're going speedy. Weaver's put in a hard place right away. She had to ditch a card because otherwise she'd have taken 4 damage. And then 1 more from his follow-up, and I forgot to do the 1 more to the crack heart. Used his shield to block, whatever, 1 point of damage at least, but, and then she's using her invisibility cloak so that she doesn't get targeted. The other options is to try to go real fast next time, because we're not counting. Craghart has not indicated he's going to take these out. He's like, oh, I'm going to go blow up the cultists. Okay. Now he's not going to be able to because they ran away from his obstacle that he was planning on, which means he's got to rethink his plan, and it's not very good. The options. Yep. Because nobody's next to an obstacle, and I was hoping to go first. And I guess that was really dumb because he's not fast enough to hope to go first. Really having to shoot our wad here because not much is happening. He fired off his flamethrower, wounded a couple of the cultists. Hey, look, some fire magic. That might be useful. But also slipped into invisibility. He used his attack bonus to get the advantage there. The basic thought being we just got overwhelmed and rushed, which I think this is supposed to sort of do, but it's supposed to be worse than it was, where, look, you're not going to get an attack off even. Well, it worked out that way because his cards just didn't work. He did not have a reasonable attack. Yes, he could have, used a move and an attack 2 or something like that, or the other way around, a bigger move in the attack 2. But I felt like it was more important to get this bonus out for next turn, rather than try to do a little bit of piddling damage. Now that piddling damage might have allowed the Tinker to kill the cultist, but one of the cultists. Now it's a situation where I gotta go real fast so that goes, but I don't want to go real fast because I have invisibility and I can't be attacked if I go real fast, so I may just sacrifice my Mystic Ally thing. might have been a mistake to go fast. But the problem is, everybody's so hurt. You know, she's at 4. They're low hit points, so it's going to be pretty damn tough. This one's looking ugly right away, right from the start. About 20 or so hours not playing. I had a package pickup today, and anyway, the invisible guys have chosen to move late, basically sacrificing this, you know, to get another shot in. That puts some risk to him too, but it's probably okay. The cultist will be summoning, and the night demon has a nasty attack. There probably is no black mana, although if he went early there would be. So that's a little dangerous. But yeah, it looks to me like he goes first and then 2 monsters. So the Cragheart who finished off the ally using collateral damage. He got to get 2 shots off. He's got this thing firing off, getting him lots of experience and getting him lots more shots. And that's great. However, he managed to kill one of the cultists, and then one of them died as it created a skeleton. The other one still alive, so we got a couple of skeletons left. We got a nice little clump there, so if I've got an area of effect attacks, I can do some cool shit, and I think I do. I'm not sure he has one, or she has one, but I'm pretty sure he does. Something didn't help as well as it could have. She set herself up a little behind. Not in great shape. She's always weak, and plunked off quite a few using the crackling air or whatever. And then the Tinkerer ran up and ink bombed a couple back here. He could have gotten 3 if she hadn't picked off the ones that she did, but she didn't want to expose herself, whatever. So not as careful, you know, not as coordinated as we could be. We got some damage on the night demons, but we've gotten rid of both the cultists and the living bones. And I don't know if they're done for the scenario, but we'll get them out of the way for now. Comes with this scenario setup, man. I'm in the middle now. If I could split into 2 groups, we could open both doors. That's just asking for it, though, as far as I'm concerned. None of the characters are strong enough to go blast into a room across. So what's really going to happen is we've got to kind of move towards this room because we're closer already, I think. Open that door and move our way through. First, we got to clear these out, though. And we got mixed plans here. He's going to try to shove somebody into that altar. And these two both have firepower attacks. Of different types. Actually, I'm planning on firing off. I went early with both of them, actually, to try to kill off the enemies. And Cragheart saying I can't go very fast. But because, hey, I can immobilize this thing, which probably neuters it. It doesn't have a ranged attack, but I think there are some in there. Demons drew quite fast, but she was able to go faster, healing herself a little, and what is it? This icy blast attack, which actually crapped out on that, but oops, managed to create all kind of mana and fire off the other one with kind of a lucky shot. This one's muddled at least, so at least it'll be disadvantaged on its attack. The Tinkerer immobilized that guy and then ran away and shot him. Did not kill. And then Cragheart finally got to use my shove somebody into an obstacle and do damage, which isn't really all that impressive, but it did get him out of range of anyone. He's got an immobilization marker on him, and he's only got 1 hit point left. So we should be able to plink him off with something, but it's kind of hard because he's got that you're always disadvantaged against him. We're running low on cards. People might be thinking, she has to do a rest. Does she care which card she gets? Not particularly, but she does care about getting those 2 hit points back. So I think I'm going to actually do the long rest with her. There's a good chance the Tinker is going to try to clear that trap. He's got the card for it sitting around, and then the Cragheart is the only one left to fire that attack off, I think, because the clear trap's an attack card. And we're screwed. The Night Demon can't move, can't attack, but he can turn invisible. Crap. And that'll get rid of his immobilization. I'm not sure. And it's because he's going before the damn Cragheart. And the Tinker decides to ask for trouble anyway, opening up the door, which reveals a bunch of these flame demons, and they're scary. Luckily, none of them are elites, but the Shield 3, that's pretty hefty to go through. Wish I had that bow or whatever, but... And a couple of living bones, and let's see how they're going. They have not gone yet, but they will both go before Cragheart does, and obviously before the long rest. And things did not go well for the little dwarf there. He's had to burn a card on a ×2, but basically a +1 was just as good. He's down to 1 hit, and not a lot of luck in terms of what he's facing. We'll be lucky if we can clear that room and get the treasure. As far as I can see, I don't know, I feel like we're overmatched here. And then because this thing went invisible, which we weren't counting on, we powered up a little bit and threw away our attack. Other options, move a little bit, but I had no ranged attacks queued up, so I couldn't do that. I gotta load her up though. It's actually not going to be terribly useful this turn either, because she's out of cards, basically down to 2 cards. She's going to heal something, which probably is herself unless somebody walks near her, and recover her cards. So she's got basically another rest coming anyway. And what else? How do we shuffle that shit? But yeah, there's... This thing, the Tinker has to pull a heal. He has to go fast. And I don't know what else he can do to get out of the way. And Cragheart, he doesn't know what's going to happen, because if he goes before this thing, he can't attack it. Which means that horde of fire demons. This may be my first defeat. But I've said that, or thought that at least, many other times. We're going to try to go early again in a number of cases, because we got some problems. Mainly a recuperation turn, but we'll see. I think we can kill that Night Demon depending on what happens. And it's not going very fast. I have to worry a little bit about it. It's got a pierce, if anybody had armor. If I had some light mana out, I don't think I have a source of it. Now, she could create some, and it could throw, if it's still around, it could throw a curse into the deck. Is that worth burning the light mana for? I don't know. I really don't. The flame demons, which are the main firepower here. I hope I'm not creating any red mana. And the living bones. Okay, so none of them are going terribly fast, so we should be able to do what we're trying to do. And for her, that's going to be recuperating her cards primarily and doing some healing. I don't know if the Tinker and she can both survive this turn very easily, so I blew up one of the flame demons with the Tinker. He also did a heal. He could have tried to run away, but then it would leave her holding the door. And these flame demons are pretty tough. They have a 3-point shield. They're really hard to do damage to, except through effects. He didn't do an effect. He had a big 6-point attack, basically, by throwing that in, and was able to blow one out, his potion. She created some mana, some blue mana, which will help with an area of effect spell, but I don't And what Craghart did was he moved next to this and did an all adjacent enemies and allies take a point of damage. And then he burnt an attack card. He just had a couple of attack cards other than that. So we got a couple of the critters out of the way. That increases our chances of at least surviving and taking this room out. I don't think we have a chance of succeeding in this dungeon. It's just too tough for what we have. We don't have things that do massive amounts of damage to clear those fire demons out of the way. And for the matter, frost demons have this. Well, they have their retaliate, but they take a lot of hits as well. But that's a little easier for us to cope with. On to the monsters. Not sure why I created that blue mana. I'm unlikely to use it, but we'll see. Alright, so the Tinker got dropped by one of the skeletons. And the second skeleton got the big 2x card. But that doesn't work against the helmet. But then again, she's down a significant amount of hits at this point. I could have burned a card, but if I burn a card, I have less deck to work with. And I feel like I'm going to need that. So it's just, the decisions are just tough at this point. It looks like we're just going to lose. Craghart had burned his cards, so he did a short rest instead of a long rest, because I feel like the only way I have any chance here is to get them both involved in trying to kill some things right away. And I'm opening up with a speedy move, and I'm actually planning on using this card that I haven't used before, which is to throw some shielding up on her in exchange for damage, because I think she's likely to get a lot. And she's probably using this for the movement, not the awesome +2 damage, +2 attack, but that's a wind triggered thing, and she didn't create wind, she created ice. I don't know. Trying to go as fast as I can, but it's not fast enough with her. It is fast enough to beat the bones, though. So let's see what happens. The option is I could have said, screw it, I'm not going to make it there, and then I'll loot one and grab those coins. And just tried to increase my cash holdings for, so that the next scenario I'm in better shape. And this is why the permanent death option doesn't please me. Maybe if I scaled the scenarios back or something, but then you don't get much stronger either. The thing with the permanent death is that if you lose a scenario, you get wiped out. It's pretty easy to lose a scenario. Technically, I can't leave even. So if I dealt with this room, I wouldn't be able to say, yep, I'm okay, I can just run away. I have to open that door, which I think is a bogus, and I'd be willing to house roll some stuff to make the permanent death kind of try to work. Say, well, there's a door back here. As long as the scenario instructions don't say that it's slammed shut or whatever, if I can run out there, I can survive. And anybody who's passed out rather than, actually a casualty, you could kind of say they can escape or whatever, because that's what the game seems to imply is the intention. But all this mana, I hope I didn't screw up. I did not. Okay. Maybe I did. Nope. Just making sure that I didn't mess up, because that mana should be down. I didn't fire off the potion this turn. It was the turn before, so this was mana that was available. Last turn? No, that's not right. I must have pushed it down. Yeah, I pushed it down already. Not that it matters, because I didn't choose to use it. Right? Did she do an attack? No, she recovered her cards last turn, so yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you try to make it a little bit more seemingly realistic, add the threat level to the game and everything, each scenario has been such a close run thing that I'm bound to fail some of them. And then you fail some of them and the whole party's wiped out, and that doesn't quite work, So I feel like you lose that part of the experience. And then, you know, also, hey, I don't mind bringing in a new character or whatever if someone dies, but I don't want to bring in a bunch of new characters. But this guy would have played differently if there were rules for like running away or stuff. He wouldn't hold the door and get himself killed, right? Got the hard call. I was kind of hoping the monsters would come charging after her. And I don't know, maybe I'd be going later with a 13. I'm not so sure about that. Instead, I have the choice between moving and getting my attack off. And I could move to here, drop a shot on him. Oh no, why the hell? Oh yeah. And doing extra damage to a couple of those critters. But in doing that, I think I completely sacrifice her. On the other hand, I may not, there may not be much option. This is going to go before her. It has an attack of 3. It's an even 3. She's not got any defenses except burning a card. So that'll be a card or else down to 1 hit point. And then these two target 1 enemy with all attacks. Oh, these are the bones. These are the flame demons. Hold on. So 2 of them get to attack her. So yeah, so she's going to have to burn at least 1 card, which, you know, she has some cards left. So maybe it makes more sense to start dropping some attacks. If she survives the turn, though, she has an attack that'll hit 3 of these critters and might take them all down. So I don't know. That shield 2, how much is that going to reduce this by? Is an attack of 3. So we'd be taking 1 each from them. And, jeez, you know, I mean, they're going to eat me up anyway. But here's the thing. If 3 of the 4 of them attack, which is what I see here, this is her last round anyway. If the shield is up, I can take 3 of those hits and survive it. All right, I don't know. I think the best is to drop the shield and not try to do damage to one of the critters. She lucked out. The flame demons did nothing to her because of that shield, so that worked pretty well, actually. Also, what worked pretty well was her attack smacked the shit out of one of the living bones. Yeah, that was only a 1-point shield, but didn't quite kill it. And the other one took some damage. The fire demon, one of them took a damage. She is able to hit everything. That's a permanently, or a scenario. For the rest of the scenario, discard a card because she doesn't have the capability to get her cards back. Fell back a little bit and has a retaliate in play also because somebody was clever enough to give her some fire magic, which is kind of awesome, actually. Cool. The bones have multiple targets, and here they're allowed to target 1 enemy with all attacks. Is the bonus on this. That could be devastating, but what was kind of cool with the retaliation in place, they ran up, attacked her, 1 got the double again, which turns into a +0 from the helmet. And then, and died. He wasn't far from getting hit. And this it ignores the shields, so it gets through, well, they had only a 1-point shield each. It gets through some of the problem. And he's got a nice retaliation as well, but he probably can't live through the damage. We'll see. And she doesn't have much left. She has like 1 more turn before she has to rest again. But we're down to just the 2 fire demons, which, as long as I've got 2 characters, hey, maybe I've got a shot, at least of like finishing this room, not that room. And if I can finish this room, maybe I can get the treasure and see what's in there. Unfortunately, with the skeletons gone, that retaliate's probably not going to do me a damn bit of good, actually. It's not going to help with the frost demon, or with the fire demons, because they have ranged attacks, unless they have some special card. I've chosen my cards. I'm trying to hold on to the cards that allow me to do auto damage to these, because they don't have a lot of hit points. So if I can get a couple of hit points, which I've got cards that can let me do 3 hit points to them through auto damage, maybe even more than that on Cragheart, which might work. But this is going to be hard just because of survival. And I'm kind of running down on cards that are at all fast, which means, what do we got here? Well, we got a fast flame demon moving slowly, create a 4 damage trap in an adjacent hex closest to an enemy. That's probably not too bad. It's not attacking. Ooh, that's nice. Well, we'll see where they set themselves up, whether I can set them up where they're ready for being hit. If I had known they were going to be getting the jump on the move, I would have used some of my movement capabilities and probably done some damage to them. There are also real problems for these fire demons. Has to be an empty hex. This is the only empty hex that he could choose, i.e. not the coins. And this guy had to choose one behind him because they don't have any firepower, they don't have any attack in place. They're just basically setting up little targets for themselves, little places where they could be actually killed. That would kill either one of them straight up. So if I can push them or whatever, this is beginning to look a lot better because they're their own actions. They're not immune to those traps. I'm using these as the damage traps. Obviously, these are the damage traps. Well, they're all 4 points, so I guess it would be fine. But I just wanted to differentiate because sometimes the traps that come with the scenario are different strength than the ones that monsters drop. This attack didn't take down either of the demons, but he disarmed them, which would buy another turn, and then she was able to take one off down with a ×2 multiplier coming out for her. He burned his thing. One of the demons actually got a no damage on it. That would be this one. And then she was unable to create a big enough attack that without the ×2 it could likely do much, but that's okay. And we got some green mana back. If we'd had green mana before, we would have been able to do something else, no? No. We would have had another choice for the attack, which was immobilize, which isn't terribly useful. If they're disarmed, she's going to take a long rest, get some healing done. Not much else in there. Cragheart thinks he can finish it off. Let's see what we got here. Certainly if he gets the jump on it, he will, but that's possible. These should be down. Okay, well, what's he doing? He's got this, but he's got a push attack, which wouldn't get destroyed. So range 2 or range 3, however, he's not in range 3, so he has to use his big move 4. I'll go 1, 2. I am going to only take 1 coin here. The idea being, I really want to get to that treasure chest, and then I do this attack. And the attack itself probably isn't that big a deal. I'm actually disadvantaged on the attack now, which means I probably can't do shit. And indeed, I get a reshuffle out of that. But the push lets me drop it into that trap, which will kill it. And we'll get a coin from there. I'm not sure if the space with the coins is an empty space. I didn't have to look that up, but because I would have rather not covered the coin space, but it would have been possible that I would have to look that up, I guess, under some circumstances. And because I did the push, I get some XP as well. So he burned his boots. He's going to be taking a long rest. Right now it's just the deck. Whatever we can get done out of the deck is what happens. She moved and looted some stuff she could land on. Again, nothing too exciting there. I needed to move 3, so yeah, I couldn't use move 2 on that. And now he'll be doing a long rest on this next turn. And I don't know what she'll be doing. She might try to open the door because I don't know whether or not, I don't remember whether or not you get the check mark if you fail. I guess I could check that at this point, because otherwise, if she's not going to get it with a scenario failure, she might as well just grab the loot, because I'm pretty sure you do get that. But you cannot get the check marks if you don't succeed the scenario. So I'm going to do this move 3 and grab myself a coin. You do get to keep those. You get to keep the money and experience. And obviously, if I find a treasure or something, that as well. And then we do Cragheart's healing. I think, she's got the opportunity to open a door, but there's nothing. I don't see anything to gain. There's going to be monsters there. I can see them. And I'm just not in a position to take them on. I'd rather not. Cragheart ran over here and grabbed himself the treasure. It was 15 gold. That'll be helpful. This is basically, a build-up scenario. Even though, in terms of sort of the story and whatever, I wouldn't want to do this. In terms of min-maxing gain, given that we don't die from this, I think she's actually going to open this door, try to get some experience off some of her remaining cards before she dies. That seems more valuable than grabbing, what are coins worth at this point? Level 2, they're worth 3 each. That would be 3 more gold for that. Whereas I can get like 3 experience if I can survive 2 turns. The check mark, it's not going to matter unless I win the battle. But hey, let's go in and see if we can kill more. Okay, so actually I screwed up there. I wasn't right about how much XP I could have gotten. I could only, 3 is what I could have gotten max. I only got 2 because there weren't enough things close. She fired off her last shot. She'll get to screw around a little bit. I don't know what the advantage there is to that, but that's what we brought up, a bunch of frost demons, a couple of skeletons. The frost demons get to go now. Target all enemies within range. With an immobilize, the range is 2. They don't do shit, and they create some ice. They've taken some damage. It's possible I could kill those if I was close to them, but he's not close, and she's not going to get another attack. So this was just, hey, let's trade 3 money for 2 experience. I don't know, or 3 gold for 2 experience. If there had been a couple of treasure loot coins out there, it would have been worthwhile, but with only 1 that I could reach, this seemed the best. My players are going to long rest. You might want to say, yeah, maybe he should run and try to get his treasures as quickly as he can. Yeah, but the advantage of the long rest is some of these monsters might come, and I might be able to get some XP off of that as well. I think I'm going to be able to get those treasures no matter what. The question is whether or not I get to kill anything. Meanwhile, I don't know if I should get her out of the way, but she's going to, somebody's going to have to bust through a trap. They figure might as well leave her there as long as possible. Sort of counteracts his goal, but I don't know. Whatever value it is, she lasted out the round, but had to burn a card. So she couldn't even, she won't be able to program for the next round, so it didn't really make much difference. So she's done, and Cragheart's rest doesn't do him much good other than being able to pick the card, I guess. But let's see. Too bad the traps go away. If they had to keep running over it, that would be terrible. yeah, let's see whether we can get those coins and then maybe get an XP somehow. Last of the loot, he's got a pile here. He's got 5, 8. That's gonna be 24 more bucks. He's gonna have enough money to buy something cool, like the ring. And then XP wise, he's getting 9. If he could get 5 more, that's not gonna happen, I don't think. We'd go up a level, which would put us closer and closer to that. To being more effective than the level of the dungeon. But as it is, I don't see an easy way to get that kind of points, although he's got some points waiting on him here if he could just get into combat. Yeah. So I'm going to play it out. I won't report much. I'll just come back and give this show for it. And I probably won't video this scenario again, so I'm going to have to make a choice. Do I stick around and face it again without taking a road event, or is there enough value to go back to Gloomhaven? In which case I probably won't come right back to this scenario because I'm really not in the mood to hit it again. Like not right away, which is kind of screwy because, you know, now I know it the best. This would be my best opportunity to succeed at it, is right away, right afterwards, you know, not taking that road event and everything. But in terms of like enjoyment, I just don't want to fight the damn thing right away again. I don't think. We'll see which one of my demons takes precedence. I think I'm charging forward again, and the question is whether or not I want the long or short rest. Long rest gives me my boots. We don't need the hit points. There are certain cards that I prefer to others in terms of generating victory points, so I think I'm going to long rest. The only problem with that is, hey, these guys are actually making some distance now. Here's whether or not I want to let them have the first attack. There's some advantages to that in the sense that their deployment might be better for me, but indeed I'm going to try. It's very hard with just one character, and this is one reason I wouldn't want to play, you know, even 2 characters. It gets harder to get a synergy with the colors. So like, you know, Craghard, he's going to be producing green, but then he's got to use it the next round. He can't rely on someone else creating it for him. Of course, if one of these created green, that would be great. Let's see what else we got here. Living Bones. Hey, they're actually doing something this time, not just healing. Yeah, he healed a little. And this thing is going to try to immobilize, which could be a real pain in the ass, except they're too far away. So they're kind of doing nothing. If they had mana, they could heal. Craghard has jumped in. He actually killed one of the Frost Demons, has dealt out a fair amount of damage, got himself some XPs. He's up to 12. You know, we might actually make that 15 because of the retaliation bonus. And now I think I can only get 2 more. What I can't do is I can't take another effective turn. If I do a long rest, at least I get a chance to get some XP off the retaliations. But that's really it. I don't even get that. All I get is to trash a card, and then I don't have the capability to play the next turn, so I pass out. Nobody got attacks that were sufficient. This thing didn't get any attacks. These guys didn't get enough movement to make it to me because of this damn trap. You had to walk around it. Otherwise, I would have gotten nothing. But at least I might have, yeah, I would have offed him, which would be kind of a moral victory, but I had tons and tons of coins at least, a decent amount of XP. Beyond that, I gotta make the decision of whether I'm gonna stick around and jump in this again, which is certainly the wise choice, or if I have enough cash to grab something that I want, maybe I should. After much soul searching, decided to do this again. No, a little trying to figure out if my time on here is confusing me. Yeah, it's a little over an hour. I'm gonna load this up as a first shot at the Runious Crypt, and then I'm gonna come back in. I figure there's a couple of things in my favor. You know, although I haven't significantly changed, I'm not gonna have the bad event from the road. I know what's going on in this scenario now, and at the very least, I can target to try to get this chest this time. Even if I don't finish it, at least I'll have gotten all the treasures out of it. And if I fail again, well, at least one person will be ready to go up a level, and we'll have enough money to buy stuff that we want. So one of the problems with Craghart, why I didn't want to go back and buy that skeleton ring, he can only carry one small object, and this is a useful small object. So and these guys may have enough money for the skeleton that may make more sense for them. So I've started repacking the scenario to play it yet again. I don't know. I guess I'll go into detail on it, at least as much detail as I go. All right, let's load this one up.